roll pick toss. Okay. Got a little Coca-Cola. Maybe I don't get. Get some eyes on the situation. So yeah, I bought this neck off of eBay. So I wanted a maple neck for a project. One of my old Kramer Focus 2000s from the 80s. I like maple necks. And these, I like these Kramer special necks because they have a very similar feel to an old Kramer neck. I bought a Kramer Vintage, Bretta Vintage, which was way more expensive than these guitars. And I could barely play the damn thing. It had a, I think it was 14-inch radius, but it's kind of like a shallow U shape. And I just played that guitar for 3 years trying to get used to it, and I was as bad or worse the day I sold it on that guitar than the day I unpacked it. I'm gonna take that piece off. I don't want anything to interfere in here. This joint doesn't really fit the best. Yeah. It sticks up a bit. This little spot doesn't want to close that well. Whenever you want to do these, whenever you do these, you want to make sure that there's not anything sticking up that's gonna interfere with the mating. A couple little things here I don't like. That's too soft. Well, maybe I don't have any. I know I've got another small screwdriver that's sharper. Well, two options with that. I could either pry out this little piece, or I could try to brush some glue under it. Big enough that I'm inclined to keep it. So, I don't know, it's not the most beautiful joint. That grain changes there, so this was I think the original came across right here and actually went right there. So this is snapped at the joint where there's a multi-piece headstock that came across here, snapped through there. 3 pieces of wood visible there. Here, it comes up to here, here, and here. This snapped right in along this line. So it's kind of some of these joints weren't the best. I'm going to take that one out. The direction and everything, I don't think it was going to go back in place well, and I'm trying to glue this thing with super glue. Can't really tell. Okay, so big problem with this is there's no real, this isn't, you know, a uniform thing. It gets smaller as it goes. What the heck, I got stuff on my hand. Oh well. So the clamps want to slide off and do not want to stay, and you've got to have good clamping force, or else, you know, that whole wood glue is stronger than the bond will be stronger than the wood itself. That's if you clamp it right. The wood glue itself is not structural, so you can't just put it in holes and it will become strong as wood. It doesn't work like that. So what I need to do, what I've decided to do is try to, well, eventually I'm going to want to put a couple of dowels in here. I have this maple dowel wood, which should be nice and strong. Now I'm going to put it, maybe here, here, and maybe down through here. Since I'm going to be doing dowels, I don't really worry about putting some holes in here. If I make some small holes for, say, some screws, help hold this stuff together, then maybe I can get some clamping force. I was thinking about these nice green screws. figure out what size bit. Drill gauge. So, if you're going to do some wood glue, oh, this is a crappy thing. When you're going to be putting screws in wood, you've got the shaft of the screw that's in between the threads. Let's see if I can get some light on this subject. If you look in there, you can see the threads on the outside, and then inside, there's that shaft. You want your hole to be, well, really hardwood like maple. It could be possibly just about as big as the shaft or a little smaller. In a softer wood, you might go smaller because that shaft's going to push the wood out a little bit around the shaft, which is going to firm up that wood, and these can get a better bite. But if it's really hard wood, then it's not going to be able to press out very well. Anyway, what I really want to do is have the shaft slide, maybe even have a little bit bigger hole on this side. So I want the head to pull against this wood but not hang up in here. I want all the pulling force to be pulling this piece against it. If the threads bind in here, then you'll end up with a bit of a gap here because, you know, it can't tighten here and pull on here at the same time. It needs to be able to turn in this wood and keep screwing so it pulls that all the way up. So, we really want the shaft size here. I would 64s. 1/8 is too big. Looks like it's probably going to be 7/64. Oh, that's not the drill bits. Here's the drill bits. Do we have it 7/64? Yes, we do. If I can get it out. Ouch! Gotta cut into my scale a little. Okay, so we can also kind of put this over it and see if we can see the shaft around it. And make sure we can see the threads on both sides. I don't know if we can see that here, but basically if you can see the threads on both sides and a bit of the shaft, then your bit is probably the right size. I might need to go a little bigger for that. We'll worry about that when we come to it. Just assume, try not to put holes through my fingers. I'm not exactly sure. I need to try to get this as straight with the wood as possible. Okay, now I want gloves are slick. Gonna look at this a minute. Be nice to hit the crack at 90 degrees, but then because this is coming down this way, makes it harder to get the head in good. I want to go 90 degrees. If I go 90 degrees to this, if I can get that one in. Got no traction on this dang thing at all. If that slides, that's going to be a problem. Okay, I'm going to go straight on the crack here. Well, 90 degrees. Because this will be okay, except the problem is when that drill bit hits that there, it's going to try to push. Because I'm not going to be able to clamp this super tight. I think what I might do is just drill this piece first. Didn't like my original spot because it was too far this direction, and it was almost exactly on this seam. There's a seam right there where that's two different pieces of wood. Okay, I need this to go a bit of an angle and straight with this direction, but or straight this way. All right. Now I need to get rid of all that wood, and I need a little something sharp. Where's my little screwdriver? of all the little wood hairs and things there. It's actually a slightly larger bit. I can see if this is gonna go through there easily. Fill a screwdriver. Oh, this isn't a Phillips. It's a Torx bit. So that's going to bind up in there. So I really need to make that a little bigger. Although, at this point, I'll try to drill that. I'll mark it anyway. Ah. Oh, fuck. Get your wood up through your little barrels or whatever they are, flutes. Alright, how deep do I want to go? Coca-Cola. Okay. So that is fine, but I need to give it the screw. Drill this out a little bit. The next size. countersink bit. Ouch. Oh, excuse me. Gasket. Gas coming out both ends. Not pretty. I understand. There's that. Not the best countersink, but it'll have to do. So I'll leave that again. So and, probably should go a little farther in since this is taking out a lot of wood. Oh, I just remembered I don't want to countersink too much because my thing's not gonna. Oh, I was gonna build. Never mind. So now we have a different screwdriver. Alright, that's going to slip, which is what we want. I actually plan on putting a larger banana headstock on here. God damn it. Is it not centered perfect? No good. It's off center. Somehow. How the fuck? Screw turned once it got in there, I guess. So if there's a freaking nail, it would work, but for some reason the screw isn't. Okay, it was a little bit of work. I think I got it. What we do is we're going to massage this over a little bit. The smaller screw actually works really well, except I can barely feel that the thing's a little bit out of place. I'll give it another shot. That's just right. I'm not really showing what's going on here. We've got a black drywall screw there. We use these to try to get a little better grip. Yeah, it's looking quite good. I think that's all I'm really gonna need. I think one screw's gonna do it. Maybe put a second clamp there just for shits and giggles. So we gotta get ready for gluing. Get ready for gluing, my friend. Get ready for gluing. Put away my drill bits before I forget. How'd that work? Okay. Zappy racket. I can't hardly swing around in there. Why are you landing there, fly? Get out of my face, fly. This is a lot better than did a little test trying to clamp these things, and they were sliding everywhere, and I had to get two across here with those and a big one going this way, and it still was crap. Excuse me. Go get this wet. wet paper towel and a dry paper towel. A little bit of stuff there. And of course, I put away my drill bits. When you use a drill or a screw, bits of wood tend to get pulled up around the edges. That can actually hang things up. I usually have a little screwdriver that's really sharp on the end that I kind of use like a knife. It's good. It's a little bit crooked and just right, but it's hiding from me today apparently. So I don't know. I'm just having to do without. Okay. Got a little piece there. Got there. And got. So I might use this, or I might just use my finger. Sometimes the finger is just the best tool for the job. I really like that. That's awfully smooth. I thought I had some 80 grit somewhere, but make a few little grooves in the surface to glue to get into. Some slime in there. Not the freshest type bond. God knows how old it is. Ah. Uh-oh. It's trying to slip. I better decide if I want it where it's at. I'm gonna say, fuck yeah. I drilled that hole for a bigger screw. Doing this one. Alright. Now, it's encouraging. You want some glue coming out the slot. As long as we got a good clamp on it. I'm gonna get clamping down over here. Actually, I might use a bigger clamp on this. Yeah, because that little heel was wanting to stick up. That should do it. Get up my glue. I don't know if that's a little bit too much light to see it. Ah. Try to fly. Die fly. Alright. So this step is done. Just has to set for like 24 hours. Or at least many hours. And I'll put a few Allen Rich, a few maple thingy bops, maple things, maple dowels. Have a big box of dowels that are not maple. They're just soft like pine wood, and it occurred to me that if I'm going to dowel into maple, I should use maple dowels. So you need everything like that goes into a neck needs to stay there. Or stay where you put it. So you don't want too soft your wood. Don't want your wood too soft. Just want your wood just right. I got a spammer. Just remember, rock and roll ain't no noise pollution. Ah, shit. Sorry, I had a technical difficulty. right, take care, have a good night, and have a good weekend. Rock and roll pick talk.